Steve-O joins us from Jackass fame. He's coming to the Orpheum Theater here in Wichita in 10 days on February 20th with his bucket list tour. That's ominous sounding, Steve-O. Why the bucket list tour?
Well, hey, thanks for having me, first off. And
thanks for being on.
The bucket list tour, it's less about, like, being dead and more about, like, just, I feel like I'm running out of time before it becomes creepy to watch me do these stunts. You know, like, I'm pushing 50, so it feels like I got to get my last licks in. And if I'm going to raise the bar to sort of hurry up and do that again. So that's what it's all about, you know, trying to hurry up and
what does, yeah. What do you do when you turn 50? What does someone who's had your career and your life do when you're 50?
I think that there are certain things that it'll make sense for me to continue doing. There's certain things that it won't. I really don't know. I know that between now and then I'm going to put together an even crazier show than this one. At least I hope I can. But for now, it's just all about these crazy things I did on the bucket list and touring my butt off this year. So I'm super stoked.
Yeah, so I like to ask people who've had longevity in any walk of life, really, what they credit that to. I mean, you're going on about 25 years now of doing this and it being popular and it attracting new fans every year, I'm sure. So what do you credit it to, the longevity, and how has it evolved over the years? So what have you done differently to keep it fresh?
Well, first off, thank you. And I would say that with respect to Jackass, what's allowed us to have longevity is Knoxville's insistent on not burning out the franchise. He was very careful to take a long time off in between movies. In between the first 3 movies, there were a full 4 years. And by spacing it out like that, it helped to keep it fresh. In this case, there's been more than 11 years, I think, in between movies. So it's more of a reboot than a consistency thing. And I don't know. There's nostalgia in people who enjoyed Jackass all those years ago, and then for me, I'm in my own. What's allowed me to keep going is the digital world. You know, I adopted the philosophy of the new school, and I got a YouTube channel going. I started a podcast. I've been super active in creating my own content, so I've been able to build my own audience and my own momentum separate from Jackass. I've done that with my comedy tour as well. So I think that for me on my own, it's all about the hustle.
We're talking with Steve-O. He'll be in Wichita at the Orpheum Theater coming up on February 20th. So you were born in England. You moved to Brazil and then to Venezuela and then to Connecticut and to Miami, back to England, then Toronto, and then back to England. Seems like you were destined to be crazy. Is that an accurate assessment?
A little bit, and thank you for knowing that. That's it's a very rare interview where anybody knows all of that history. And yeah, I don't know if I would point to all of the moving and the traveling to making me the attention whore that I am. I think more. It was the reason for moving around that much through my childhood, which was that my dad was a fairly successful, it's actually kind of obscenely successful at a point, corporate executive. And he moved the family to all these different companies, working for American multinational corporations. And so it was my dad's success. My parents were really kind of enjoying the high life and not paying a whole lot of attention to me. I think that I kind of grew up like Pippi Longstocking a little bit.
So what were some of the things maybe early on in your life or before Jackass. You tried the circus, I know that. So what were some of the avenues you pursued to kind of find your place when you maybe didn't feel like you were receiving the attention from whoever or whatever? What did you try?
I on my mom's side of the family, every single leaf on the family tree is stricken with alcoholism. Yeah, no, it never skipped a generation. It never skipped an individual. And I think I can look back on my childhood and see a lot of the traits of alcoholism in how I behaved. And really, when I say the traits of alcoholism, there's this feeling of not being comfortable in your own skin, like feeling like you're somehow defective and you're very you feel inadequate and restless, irritable, and discontent. And the way that I kind of dealt with that was to adopt identities. And first it was in Little League baseball, and then it was heavy metal music, and then it was skateboarding, and I was just like, all about all that kind of craziness. And I just had the gnarliest brain fart too. What was the question even?
Well, you were taking us through some of the difficulties you've had with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, what it was that the skateboard led me to the video camera. The video camera really showed me, I had a passion for the video camera, and I felt that what I wanted to do was, have some career that involved the video camera. And at first, I thought that would be something like in advertising. I wanted to make commercials for a living. But then when I went to college, I couldn't bring myself to go to class, and I was a failure. And I thought, all right, I'm going to become a crazy famous stuntman with the home video camera. And that was, a kind of a tragic thing at the time. There was no precedent for that, and everybody just kind of felt sorry for me. And then I was homeless for a number of years, kind of just sort of being crazy. And when I found out about the clown college for the circus, I thought that would further my goal of becoming a stuntman, and so I dove into that. And becoming a circus clown allowed me to stop being a drug dealer, which was helpful. And then And then I worked as a clown until Jackass took off. So that was kind of all there was to it.
We're talking with Steve-O. He'll be in Wichita again on the 20th of February, his bucket list tour. So, yeah, it was touch and go for you, wasn't it? You probably have gotten to this stage of your life and feel maybe even more fortunate to be where you are than some others. Am I correct about that?
Oh my God, man! It's I look back on my life and I feel like the old cartoon Mr. Magoo. It showed him kind of walking through life oblivious, where he would be stepping off a building and a beam would come in to meet his foot. He just oblivious to all the peril that he was in, just walked through life with everything magically working out. And I relate to that a lot because that was kind of my story, just everything worked out with all kinds of peril going on, and I just made it through like Mr. Magoo. And I never expected to live to 30 years old. I never thought I'd make it out of my 20s, let alone find myself pushing 50 years old and thriving. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what? I'm trying to ask this question the right way, because there's a uniqueness to Jackass that I don't think can be duplicated or has been duplicated, but I think you can draw a line from Jackass to maybe Impractical Jokers, which is obviously far more tame. Even something like the Kardashians, where, hey, let's just go be famous. Let's do what we have to do to be famous and get some notoriety and some attention. So do you think some things like that, or what do you think might not exist if not for Jackass?
It's really tough to say. I think that in one sense, I don't know that anything was particularly new about Jackass because, like, slapstick comedy's been around for so long. In another sense, I feel like Jackass is just lightning in a bottle that never had happened before and never could happen again. If not just because of the liability involved in what we did, like to have corporate America sign off on producing the kind of stuff that we do is crazy. But I think what made it special and what made it popular is the spirit of it. There's nothing mean-spirited. It's all like in really good fun. Like we give ourselves and each other a hard time, but we're really, really otherwise considerate. And I think that's what makes it okay for us to be as reckless as we are. And I think there's also something just inherently compelling about the misfortune of others, such that creating accidents on purpose is going to make everybody want to slow down to look at them.
So how do you, and we're talking with Steve-O, how do you like to be described? Are you a stunt man? Are you a movie star? Are you a comedian? The hybrid of that would be described as what? Is there a word that best fits you?
Yeah, I'm an attention whore. That's really what drives me in everything that I do. Yeah, I mean, I could say attention whore, but there's a little bit more of a sophisticated title that I like to give myself, which is distraction therapist. I like to think that a lot of people don't, many people don't enjoy their jobs. Many people are not happy in their marriage. There are a host of issues that really interfere with people's serenity and their happiness. And I like to think that I'm able to appear in people's lives and, certainly not fix their problems, but distract them from their problems and as such improve people's days. And I think that that's a very worthy thing to have devoted my life to.
New movie, Jackass Forever, out. We've been talking with Steve-O. Before we let you go, Johnny Knoxville was recently in the Royal Rumble and has been on WWE quite often over the years. Who would win a wrestling match between you and Johnny?
Well, it's tough to say, but I was in the WWE ring on Monday Night Raw back in 2006. And as much as I respect, admire, I could say I even worship the captain, Johnny Knoxville, I have to say that his match, his performance in the WWE ring was minor, was insignificant compared to the carnage that went down when I was in the ring with our Jackass comrade, Chris Pontius. And I say that because I was ignorant of how wrestling works. I did not know that after the final move that you're supposed to play dead, that the match is not over if you keep moving around. And I was in there with the Samoan bulldozer, Umaga. And Umaga dove off the top rope and just slammed me so hard that I kept moving around, which offended Umaga. And he continued to beat me and pummel me. And I was unaware that it wouldn't stop if I didn't stop moving. And so it kept going until I was beaten into a blackout. I don't remember leaving the ring. They never showed me leave the ring. They just cut to commercials because it got so dark.
I remember that now that you mentioned that. Did you make amends with Umaga before he passed?
I do believe that I did. I remember being kicked out of another WWE event not much more than a year after that, or about a year after that, and I was very compromised on drugs and alcohol. I was roaming around the guts of the arena in Tampa and trying to find a professional wrestler to properly choke me unconscious. And the WWE brass were able to interfere and remove me from the building, but somewhere in there, I think I got to talk to Umaga, and everything was made right.
All right, the Bucket List Tour on February 20th here at the Orpheum with Steve-O. Thanks so much for your time and your entertainment, and we appreciate talking with you.
Hey, man, thank you guys for your time, and I really appreciate you helping me get the word out about my Bucket List Tour.
You bet. That's Steve-O. He is coming to Wichita in 10 days. We'll be back, hour number 2. We'll make our picks coming up here in a little bit, and we'll talk with Caitlin Bingham, Wichita State softball pitcher. She'll join us at around 5:40. Back in a moment.